Hello everyone, a very good evening to one and all. So on the request of student community, we have prepared a review of paper 2 environmental sciences that just took place today. And as far as the level of paper, it was moderate to difficult level. This time the NT have raised the bar. So the level was moderate to difficult. We will not say it a easy paper because of two reasons that there were most of the questions which were like statement based question, same as like in the pattern of most of the UPSC and state PCS exam. The second is match the following, which will consume a lot of time. So it was a lengthy paper, but those who have studied thoroughly and the students of the academy as their review, those who have studied thoroughly and through with the all four color booklets of the institute and selected solutions and assignment, they were comfortable with at least 75 plus questions. So after consulting lot of students and looking into the paper and the team members who have given the paper, so we are presenting a review for the student who are not able to give the exam so that they can prepare accordingly for the upcoming December exam, right? Because now the in-depth study is needed if you need to go it in one go. So let's talk about one by one, unit wise. We have bifurcated these things as per the study modules of A.S.S Science Foundation. So they will match with the units for the students only. And rest the people can see the types of questions they have asked. So let's start with first unit, which is basically structure of Earth. So there were a question on structure of Earth where they were asking about like till which part of the crust and mantle the roots are growing, right? So mostly it was from crust, and the other option was like from lithosphere till asthenosphere, some part, right? But mostly contained into the crust. Then they were asking the basalt composition in matching type of questions where like we were having ferromagnesium minerals because of presence of these pyroxene and olivine. So there was a question about basalt composition also, which was both way like from mineral and rock as well as from structure of earth. So two questions from this part. Then we were having structure of atmosphere. There was one very repeated and simple question which was asking composition of gas in percentage dry bases. So it will be starting with organ, I guess, right? So we have to be very careful because they are asking the dry percentages. Then there was a question on Wien's displacement law where they have given the atmospheric window and you have to act accordingly looking into the wavelength. Structure of hydrosphere was a special unit this time because we get once again a passage on hydrothermal vent, which is in the oceanic ridges. And there were a passage, comprehension passage on hydrothermal vent where there were 5 questions, right? And all of them were answerable looking into the passage. So they were not that much tough as far as the expectation is. They have basically asked about the mid-oceanic ridges and the composition of minerals out there, how they are formed. So that was an easy question. Coming to the big unit, water pollution. So in water pollution, they have given a question based on statements which involving the solubility of oxygen into water, and few statements were written regarding the Henry's law and temperature correlation. Then they have also asked about recalcitrant substance, which is very difficult to degrade. They have also asked a question over thermal stratification, right? They've also asked a question from thermal stratification, and then the simple question of each the time, like they have asked about arsenite and arsenate, which one is toxic, which one is not, which one is soluble, which one is not soluble. They've also asked a question about chromite and chromate, where we have the first we have to calculate the oxidation state, where we will get 3 plus, and here we will get 6 plus, and then we can say that this is soluble and toxic, right? So, and chromium 3 plus is less soluble and less toxic. This was the question. Then there was a very interesting question on the lines of Gilbert Master, where they have asked about various disease, where they have asked about waterborne disease. It is given on page number 181, I guess, on Gilbert Master. So they have asked a question about the waterborne disease, where they have asked about cholera, right? And then they have asked about water wash disease, which is basically trachoma and scabia, right? And then they have also asked about water-based disease, right? Which is psychostomiasis and draniculiasis. And then they have also asked about one more disease, water-related disease, which they have asked. It was a matching type of question, but very good question. First time it has appeared in NTA. So water-related disease such as malaria and dengue, they have also asked about. And then in last, they were asking about the one of the very widespread disease, which is basically associated with the water prevalency. And here is the term psychostomiasis, right? Which is basically water associated disease. So this was the question there, and it was an interesting question. So we could have done it easily, and this was given in page 182 in Gilbert Master if you wish to see. Then we have a question on calculation of hardness from detergent area, which is there. The calculations of hardness was there in detergent, where they have given the concentration of magnesium, calcium, bicarbonate, CO2, etc. And they have asked in terms of the calcium carbonate hardness, right? This was the question. Then we have a very interesting question over toxicity of pesticides. Like this time it was a highlight directly from the booklet. They have picked up few of the pesticides which were there, like organochlorine. We know that the example is lindane, and then we have organophosphate, malathion and parathion. So they have asked just the classes, right, of these pesticides. Then there was an interesting passage over DDT where they have given that 5,000 female having cancer reported in 500, 250 blood samples were taken, and mean is 2.5 and standard deviation is 0.1. So guys, this was, as they said, it is normally distributed. This was a very simple question. One could have drawn the bell-shaped curve, right? And then they have asked you about till mean plus minus 1 sigma in the positive side. So we know that this is a 68.2% area. So something around 34% area of this will be there, right? And then they have asked you the percentages of blood sample where they were positive. So it was something like this kind of calculation. Out of 5,000, 240 were reported positive. The percentage comes out to be 5%, right? And in one question, they ask if it is increasing with the steady state, right? And how much increase? So if it is increasing 5%, then out of 250, if it is increasing linearly, then it will be 12.5, and then it will become 262.5. Another question was there. Then they have asked about that which type of statistics you should know for it. So that kind of passage was there. Then DDT, about the metabolite of DDT, they have asked DDD, which was like the having the last ingredient, right? So that is there as far as the exam is concerned. And then we had a question over sewage treatment plant where they have asked about sludge disposal method like dewatering, right, stabilization, drying, etc. And these steps were asked about the sewage treatment plant. Coming to groundwater, they have asked once again the cone of depression, which was the January 2025 question. Cone of depression was there. They have also asked the definition of artesian well, piezometric surface, confined aquifer, and blue wavy syndrome in paper 1, which was simple to answer. Then in air and climate change, lot of good questions were there in air and climate change where they ask good questions, and they ask about primary and secondary standards. The same question was repeated in January NO2 question with the ozone formation, where we know that NO2 helps in the formation of ozone and NO discard the formation of ozone. They have also asked London and photochemical smog, right? They have also asked this formula of settling rho GD square upon 18 eta, where they have asked, and they also asked the settlement time. Large particle take little time to settle down while small particle take greater time. This is directly from our booklet. And then there was very interesting numerical this time, simply saying the settling velocity is directly proportional to rho d square, and the settling velocity of particle under observation and the particle in question is same. So Vs is same for that. So simply we have to write down two equation. In one case, the settling velocity we take Vs1, then it was density 1 and diameter was unknown. And in the second case, Vs2, we have density 3 and diameter is 2. So it will become 4 after squaring it. So just because Vs1 and Vs2 are equal, because equal settling velocity, so we equate both of them, it will come d square is equal to 12 and d will come automatically 2 root 3. So here it will be 2 into 1.7321 and automatically it will come something around 3.5 micrometer, which was one of the answer. Right, it was a very interesting question. It is given in one of the very standardized book, Paul Barron and Kulkarni, right? Principal measurement methods and techniques of aerosol. So 3.5 micrometer was the correct answer for this, I guess, approximately as per the data is available. Then he has also asked the statements of London smog and photochemical smog, that London smog, the composition is SO2 and particulate matter. So deliberately he has given something else. And photochemical smog also, whether it is dissolved in pan or not, these kind of statements were given. Then NO has a tendency to destroy ozone, while NO2 has tendency to produce. This question was also there from air pollution and climate change. Atmospheric stability, simple question was there, where they have asked about neutral, stable, absolutely stable, and unstable atmosphere, which was very simple, uh, all the four conditions. Then this time, spatially, ventilation coefficient questions have come, which like the formula you are aware, mixing height and wind speed. So four options are given with a diagram. Then we have effects of global warming question was there, like what will be the outcome. Then halogen, which is hydrogen free. They wrote that they will not deplete ozone, which was the incorrect statement. This question was there. They have also asked about UVB, right, whether they are absorbed by stratosphere or not. They also asked about Montreal and Kyoto Protocol years. Then cyclonic precipitator question was there. GIS and remote sensing, they have asked about the same question as asked in 2025 January, where they have asked about MODIS, Aquaterra, and Sentinel satellite and their sensors, right? They have also asked about normalized difference in vegetation index and normalized difference in snow index, etc., as far as the GIS and remote sensing is concerned. They also asked two questions on analytical methods, where one was a repeated question of 1 year back on HPLC and reverse phase HPLC. Another one is on limit of detection and maximum limit from analytical methods. So two question analytical methods have back this time. Ecology, which is a big unit. A lot of good questions have come from ecology, if I would say, and they were easy to correct. Then in ecology, we have seen that the question have been asked from order of net primary productivity, which is a direct question, like how tropical rainforest, deciduous forest, temperate deciduous forest, then grassland, and these kind of things will vary. Then they have asked a question over grazing is more in aquatic ecosystem and detritus food chain is more in terrestrial. This was there in the form of statement. Net assimilation efficiency was there, in which they have given the example of fish. Pyramid of biomass inverted in aquatic or pond water body, that was there. This is a pet question which came. Photosynthesis to respiration ratio is less than 1, characteristics of profundal zone in a water body. This question was also there, which was easy to correct. Then humification and humus formation was there, where they have asked the steps. Then nutrient mineralization, with the help of equation, they have asked like release of inorganic substances like CO2 and water. It was written there. Then ecological succession, they have asked one question about primary and secondary and their characteristics. Ecological succession was also there. Then survivorship curve was one of them, which was there, like survivorship curve 1, 2, 3 was there. It was definitely there. Then goals and objective of Green Indian Mission was also there from national mission. So they have given 3 or 4 options, like improve the forest cover quality, or forest ecosystem services. All these options were put forward as far as the goals were concerned, right? Then we also saw a question over Kalesar National Wildlife Sanctuary, which was there, Kalisa National Park Wildlife Sanctuary in Haryana's Yamunanagar district, which will match with Yamuna River because they have given the rivers from the same state. Then they have also given a hint in the form of Tista River, which is basically from Sikkim. So Kanchenjunga Conservation Area. So that was one of the questions which was given. So this was from ecology. Then parasitism, one question was there from population interaction as usual. So ecology once again have quite a good coverage in the exam as far as the proportion is concerned. Almost 10 plus question is there from ecology, which is a good count as far as the exam weightage is concerned. Last year also ecology got 13 questions. As far as the soil is concerned, this time we have seen some pickup from the soil side, and we got good questions from soil. Like there was one classification from this picture is directly from our study material booklet 2. So they have asked this classification: histosols, which are organic soils and bogs. Then they will also talk about vertisol, grumosol, ragur or black cotton soil. They have asked about this. Then they will also ask about alphisols. Such kind of question was there. Then we saw a question on soil humus, property and function of humus, which is a very favorite question of examiner. Property and function of humus, where they have written a wrong statement that humus do not contain moisture, which is absolutely wrong. Humus contain moistures and it have the buffering capacity also, right? So that you should hold it act as a buffer to acidic and basic characteristic, and water holding capacity also it increases. Then coming to the radioactivity this time see 3 to 4 question, right? One was on the units like REM and RED, where gray have been given as a relationship, and they asked some radiation exposure dose. Apart from that, 3 questions were straightforward directly from our content, where they have asked about the absorption rod. And absorption rod in the nuclear fusion or nuclear reactor, we basically know that absorption rods are made up of cadmium and boron. But examiner deliberately give this statement that graphite or the water can be used as absorption. No, because it is used as a moderator, right? Then they have also asked about pitch blende, which is the ore of uranium, and monazite. 2 other options were there, and one of them was the correct answer because they asked who is not. Then they also raise again Chernobyl disaster. Few year back, they have asked about Chernobyl disaster, Ukraine 1986, that which are the substances which are not emitted. So here, cesium, iodine, and one noble gas was there, but strontium is not there as a major, if I am not wrong. Then coming to rocks and mineral was at bit a low this time, right? Only if you talk about from the sedimentary rock side, the coal succeed to make some space. So we asked about the basalt type question. Then coal was having 2 question at least, where the order was there, where we have like graphite, anthracite, bituminous lignite, and last peat. Then we have these vitrain, fusane, durane, all of them were there. Then sedimentary shale was having a question. So 3 to 4 questions from mineral and rock, not much like last time. Then energy was having a good time, like at least 7 around questions from energy. So one question was there from solar pond, where they have asked about characteristics of solar pond. Then coal type, vitrain, durane, fusane, all of them were there. Then this table, which is there in the study material, are in the form of a question where they are simply asked about the this percentage, where like graphite, anthracite, bituminous lignite, peat, dry wood, and cellulose. They have also asked about the carbon hydrogen to carbon ratio in other fuels also, like they have given the coal types, anthracite, bituminous lignite, peat, and they then subsequently went on to natural gas and petroleum, right? So as far as the hydrogen content, the petroleum is having less as compared to coal, right? Then wind energy, directly they have asked that wind power is proportional to which power of the cube of the wind speed. So wind power is proportional to cube of wind speed, right? Because you know that the formula is half of KCP rho AV cube. So third power of the velocity that is there in the expression in your booklet. This was the correct answer as far as the question is concerned. Then from environmental chemistry routine question was there like conversion of microgram per meter cube from ppb. So that was a straightforward conversion from environmental chemistry directly based on the conversion formula, where you just need to, because it was given at 25 degrees Celsius, so you have to use 24.4 liter as a standard molar volume, and then you have to simply apply the concentration in ppb into molecular weight divided by volume of the gas. There was a simple trick, just need to proportionate that microgram per meter cube concentration will be proportional to the product of concentration in ppb into molecular weight of that gas, right? So it was very simple, and five contended was there, and the lowest of them was carbon monoxide, if I'm not wrong, right? And ammonia was also there. Then we have SO2 also there, right? Five CO2 was also there. So one can arrange in the order. Vermicomposting, we see after a long time, one question from vermicomposting, where normal worm, Icena foetida was there, then the green worm and etc. Two, three options were there. Once again, teacher repeated this bioremediation in situ and ex situ, where they have asked about that whether it is done on the spot in the aerobic form or anaerobic form. Municipal solid waste have seen a bounce back this year in June 2025, and we see some repeated question like garbage is refuse of kitchen and household rubbish. They give statements whether rubbish is a part of garbage or garbage is a part of rubbish. They also ask about the refuse, right? Then they also ask about different variety of the plastics like thermoplastic and thermosetting plastic, where thermoplastic can be formed into desired shapes under the heat and pressure to become solid on cooling. They basically wish to ask the molding property of these kind of plastic. And then we have thermosetting, right, which cannot be softened once they are made with something, right? So the two were there. Then we were definitely having this landfill question where they have asked the different phases in sequence. First was initial aerobic, then acid formation, then methane formation, right? So these phases were there, like arranged in the phases of landfills. Then EIA and environmental law this time have a good time, and good number of questions came from EIA environmental law. We saw a question on hazardous waste management and handling rule 1989. PIL 1991, EIA precautionary principle. There was a question like the when EIA is done, which principle is there? Article 51 AG and 48 were again in highlight, where Indian Constitution mandated that every citizen has fundamental duty to protect, improve the natural environment, and this includes safeguard of forest, lakes, river, wildlife, as well as showing compassion for all living creatures. So it is a multiple time repeated question. Article 51 AG and 48A. The steps of the EIA they also ask which to follow afterwards. So quite a good number of questions. They also ask the battery management and handling rule 2001. Ocean chemistry, in the passage they have asked which ion is more. So chlorine is the maximum one. Then from noise, they also had a question where the statement given the frequency is opposite to this, and then sound pressure decibel is 20 log P1 by P naught. And one more intensity statement was also there. They have written like the noise level intensity is equal to 10 log of I upon I naught, where I naught is 10 to the power minus 12 watt per meter square. All of you are aware about this statement. So these were there from the noise side. Then coming next, we were having a few questions which were out of the box type of question. Like this year, very interesting question they ask on sustainable development goals, where they said that if you leave the one of the goal which was there, like I personally like this question very much because it was really a testing question for student, because not easily you can expect that you will digest this thing. So it was a very good question as far as the exam is concerned. Like all of you are aware, we have 17 sustainable development goal. So if you remove from this the goal 17, which is basically the partnership for the goals, right? The partnership goal is removed. Then they ask a very interesting question that tell us that how many goals are for environmental sustainability, how many are for social, and how many are for economic. So I would like to tell you that for environmental sustainability, we have only 4 goals, right? Not 4, exactly 5. One is goal 6, which basically advocate the, so environmental sustainability we have 5. One is, let me tell you it separately, right? That so that you remember it because it is a very good question. So for environmental sustainability, we have 5 goals where goal number 6, clean water and sanitation, plus goal number 7, affordable and clean energy. Goal number 13 is there, this climate action. 14 is there, life below water, and 15 is there, life on land. So 5 for environment, right? Okay, 5 for environment. Then let's come to the social sustainability or social aspect. In social aspect, if I see, right, we have 5 here also, right? 5 for environment, and then 5 for social, which basically goal number 4, which is not 6 here, just a mistake. Here we have 6. Sorry for that. So 5 in environment, 6 in this. Yeah. Right. So if you see goal number 3, which is basically good health and well-being. Goal number 4, quality education. Goal number 5, gender equality. Goal number 7, affordable and clean energy. And goal number 16. But they have counted it for 17 also, right? So options will be there. We can choose that if 17 is subtracted. Then in economic sustainability, finally comes the economic one, right? Economic sustainability. So in economic sustainability, basically we have goal number 1, which is, no poverty. Goal number 2, which is zero hunger. Goal number 7, which is affordable and clean energy. Goal number 8, which is decent work and economic growth. Goal number 9, which is industrial innovation infrastructure. Goal number 10, which is reduce inequalities. Goal number 11, right, which is basically sustainable cities and communities. And goal number 12, which is basically responsible consumption and production. So you can see here almost 8 goals are there, right? So yeah, so these goals you can see that they are working and well fitting, and this was a question of the paper, I guess, which was very interesting. And then frankly speaking, from statistics there was good questions, like a repeated question was asked for the steps of chi-square, which was repeated like last to last year, where they have asked about the steps of chi-square. Then they have also asked about few of the tests, right, like kappa correlation and other things. They have also asked about the pie charts, histogram, right, that how they are used, because they have already asked 4 to 5 question passage. So paper was well balanced. It was not like it was biased somewhere on one side, but frankly speaking, the people need to study in depth now, because the statement based question and they were asking incorrect, which of the following is incorrect. There you have to devote a lot of time, and for matching part also you have to devote a lot of time. So that basically consumes the time of the student. So this was a small good review for people who were not able to give the exam. They can have the analysis, and the other student also, like which area have been touched up. So this was from the side of A.S.S Science Foundation team. Hope it will be useful for the community. And the institute is starting its first batch on 29th of June, Sunday. So those people who have make up their mind and looking forward for NET-JRF December 2025, as well as GATE Environmental Science and Engineering 2026, right, as well as HPSC, right, or Jammu Kashmir PSC, they can reach us as early as possible. Thank you very much. Hope you will enjoy this.